Hello, welcome to my Web University, my YouTube channel. Um, as you can see, I'm providing you a lot of videos in the topic of IT related subjects, whether it's computer science courses, programming languages, operating system, database, scripting, Bash scripting, Python, C programming language, C++. You name it. There's a lot of them here. R language and then MySQL and then database activities, data frames and with R language. And then at the same time, Python and object-oriented programming, shell scripting, PowerShell, tutorials on Linux and Bash scripting and MySQL, Postgres, I mean, not Postgres, sorry, SQL Bench, and a lot of things, MariaDB. There's so much here, you can name it. I have videos for you. And my main purpose is to just make these videos so I can help students and developers enhance their careers so they can do better in their jobs as well as at the school. I also taught these courses at the college and universities in United States. I have been teaching it part-time while I'm working full-time at my job as an enterprise system analyst at NASA. And I am honored to just be your mentor and help you on all these topics. As you can see, the list goes on so much, and then there's a lot of courses, full courses from zero to hero on Rocky Linux and Red Hat, Ubuntu, Red Hat uh, itself, not Red Hat Ubuntu, Linux Ubuntu, Red Hat MySQL, MySQL Shell, MySQL Workbench, MariaDB, and then you can see Enterprise Linux 9 full course. A lot of people, they love it, and then they learn Python, interactive Python, Jupyter Lab. You can name everything that I have made a video for you, and I'm honored to just be your mentor today as well. And let's go to the topic that I am going to be discussing today. So as you can see, last three videos, I made it on Windows subsystem for Linux. And the last video I discussed Fedora Linux, and the previous one was Ubuntu, and then previous one was Windows subsystem in general, which would be Oracle Linux, Fedora, and Rocky, Red Hat, all of them, and as well as sometimes maybe if Rocky is not part of the Windows subsystem, I would bring you on the VirtualBox and the Rocky Linux or Ubuntu or Red Hat. Because a lot of those ones, the graphical user interface as well as System 7, it's all available. But because Windows subsystem might still be under the development in some ways, they're not based on System D. They're all in System 5 Release 4, which is SysB, we call it, or System 5. The main process for it is not System D, it's init, which is the mother of all process, basically, on Linux. And then System D is also called mother of all process. They are starting with process ID now, or number one. And then I'm going to be showing you all of that. Today, I have a little bit more for you because I just prepared like a nicer thumbnail for the videos and everything that I'm going to discuss, as well as I'm gonna show you how to set up, for example, Kali Linux, and how to make it like install a desktop version of it. So you have a graphical user interface with a very nice GUI, as well as Ubuntu Linux on the graphical interface. Basically, we're gonna install XRDP, which is for basically setting up remote desktop. And then through VNC and with virtual network computing or remote desktop, this technology can become enabled to connect from Microsoft Remote Desktop to SSH secure shell, as well as a remote desktop and a graphical interface. So with that in mind, let's get started. I'm going to just start the session. And as you can see here, topic is Windows subsystem, subsystem for Linux. The white W and the red S and the black L, or is abbreviation for Windows subsystem for Linux. And you can see here the way I just made a little bit art out of it. I say the, and then the easy and quick way to spin off is this red is the S is coming from the spin-off. A spin-off, then you can use the red again, subsystem, and then for Linux. You can see the way we are doing it, the easy and quick way to Windows subsystem for Linux. So that's what it is. And then you can see some of them, I started with the red. That means that you have to read that one first, and then that easy and quick way to Windows subsystem for Linux. And that's how you read this kind of art. And the S is read twice. One is to spin off, and one is to subsystem. S is used twice. And Linux is used for Linux right here. And then I hope you enjoy that. But at the same time, I'm going to show you a little bit more of this. And the thing that is important is for you to set up a Windows machine is to open a PowerShell terminal first. A PowerShell terminal, you right click on it and say open it as administrator. Once you have it as administrator, the first command you want to just run is WSL-set set default version 2. This doesn't have to be in that order, but these three important commands are making your system enabled for Windows subsystem to work. So you can also open on the DOS command prompt or start menu of this one, just say, open it as a PowerShell and then run this command with PowerShell administrator privilege. Or you could just say at the start menu, just say features and then go enable these two features. One is the Windows subsystem feature for Linux, and the other one is basically the virtual machine platform. You can also run this command at the PowerShell to do it. You don't have to type features at the control panel or at the start menu to do it. This is an easy way. You run this command, and this command, they all do it. The disassembly of imaging system for manager, you could do it this command also, and then deployment image, not disassembly. Deployment image for service and management. This one, and this is just enables command with PowerShell. So once you set this one, then you reboot your machine. Then you just are set ready to just do it. And as you can see here, I did it on my machine. I open PowerShell as administrator first, which is PowerShell.exec prompt comes in. Then you're at the prompt, and then you type in WSL set default version 2. Notice these are all lowercase, and then that's how it works on those ones, because these are kind of variables that you set it, and PowerShell is case sensitive with these variables definition. And then also do enable Windows option features. You can do that one to enable the feature, and also for the deployment imaging service management, you enable the virtual platform. Once you do that one, then you reboot your machine, then your machine is set for a graphical interface, everything will work there. Okay, so this is another kind of like tool that I just changed my display for Windows, and I just did this one just to play around. I had no time. I had extra time just to design something. So just don't worry about those things. But here I'm just showing you on Microsoft Store, you can just search for Kali Linux, for example, if you want to install Kali. So I did search for Kali Linux, and then the first button that comes in says Get. meaning that, okay, you want to download it and get it or start installing it. Once you click on the get, the next time the software will be installed, the operating system of Kali Linux will be installed on as a Windows subsystem, and then you have this open button. And then it tells you a little bit about what Kali Linux is. Here, Kali Linux is very, very useful operating system in Linux environment. It's mainly for the purpose of security. As you can see, that it has penetration testing, a lot of tools that are provided for Kali Linux. You can just do it, but be an ethical person, an ethical hacker, not an ethical hacker, because whenever you are doing any activities with somebody's data or tampering some website or connecting to penetrate to somebody's vulnerability, if anything that you do, any damage or just without the information you connect to their system, obviously you could be prosecuted and you could go to jail for it if you make any damage or something. But usually you want to just do these testing on your own local machine, and then and don't be on the network and everything, just for learning purposes, for testing, and just how you could just see some of the vulnerabilities so you can correct it, the vulnerabilities, and just patch it and get the issue if there's a port that is open or if there's some vulnerability, whether it's SQL injection, whether it's some kind of buffer overflow, any kind of the denial of service, anything that is happening on as terms of vulnerability that people could penetrate and then just cause some damage to your system or to your data or to your network. You just want to just look for those ones. And Kali Linux has a lot of tools for it. It helps you to do it. We're not going to train you how to be a hacker, but we can train you how to be a good ethical software engineer or computer scientist or a programmer or database administrator or consultant or system admin, so you can do repair and do good things for others and for your companies. Nobody wants to teach you the wrong things, to just be unethical. And you shouldn't even look for those things. So this is again a Windows subsystem for Linux, and the topic that you're talking about. This is Kali Linux after I configure the XRDP, remote desktop, and a lot of software that I updated everything. That after you do that one, then it will just come in. Basically, the first step you want to do is whenever you install Windows subsystem, the most important thing is that you go on the Microsoft Store or command line with the Windows subsystem. Do like the other videos I showed you. If you do it from the command line, you open a PowerShell terminal, and then as administrator, and then you do WSL-D distribution name, and then name of the distribution, and then or a -- install, and then just by default -- install, and then if you don't give it any distribution name, it is Ubuntu, and the latest and greatest will be installed for you, 24.04. If you just say -D, then the distribution name, or you don't have to say -D. It is assumed that when you gave the name of the distribution, it will install it for you. So that is your first step if you do it from the command line. But if you go on the Microsoft Store, search for it. So you basically come in on the Microsoft Store, search for it, and then once it shows up, and then you just type in Kali Linux or Linux Ubuntu or Red Hat Oracle Linux or Fedora, Debian, whatever name you search, there's an app for it. You click on the app to get it, and then once installed it, then open it. It will prompt you for an account to be created, and from there on, you're set. But the next step after that is that done, you have to apply the latest updates. So if you're doing it on Kali, for example, Debian is the package manager, the distribution. So apt is the package manager, dpkg, apt, snap, or the Debian packages, and if you're doing it on Fedora or Red Hat, there are DNF and Yum and all that other stuff that I showed you last time. So this is how easy you do, and then once you do the updates of the system, so you can install the patches and all the latest, greatest software that are there, then you can install XRDP, and then for Debian you have to do the task select, and then the GNOME desktop on the Red Hat, you could do a server with GUI, and then for this one you also do XRDP, and then I'll show you how I did that one next, okay? And then this interface comes in and you just are going to use it. So that it would be also a Windows subsystem for Linux, Kali Linux. Kali Linux, this has these kind of nice background images that I put you as an example, a few of them. So once you install the Kali Linux and the graphical interface is there, you right click on it and just choose whichever desktop, and these are some of the examples of the desktop were available. So I'm just going through a few of them here for you. And this is all under Windows Subsystem for Linux, Kali Linux. If you go to kali.org website, obviously you can download it. You can install Kali as an appliance, OVA files, Oracle Virtual Machine or stuff, or you could install it as an ISO image. You can install it under VMware. You can install it under VirtualBox. You can install it under Windows Subsystem. So I'm showing you a few of them, and then these are nice Kali desktop that I just showed you here, a few of them, and then they're all based on the one that I just installed, and I'll walk you through on it and the actual Linux stuff as well. So that's Kali Linux, and then Windows Subsystem for Linux, right? And then this is basically when I just did the Microsoft Store. The first step that you do is you go to Microsoft Store, you look for the app called Kali Linux, and then you click get, and then once you get it, then you click install, and then it basically the get will install it for you. Then have a open. Once you click on open, it will just open a terminal for you, and then it's gonna prompt you for a username. You type in the username and password, and then after that one, it prompt you into a $sign for the prompt, but it's all terminal based, not graphical interface. In order to do that graphical interface, you're going to do these steps. So the first thing I did was a sudo apt update. Apt is the application package toolkit for Ubuntu Debian distribution. So Debian distribution, you use apt-get. If you're on the Red Hat or Fedora, you're using DNF. DNF is a kind of a dandified version of Yum, Yellow Dog Update Manager, then a newer version of Yum. Yum is symbolic link to DNF-3, and I showed you that one last video, so just look at that video. This one is apt, which is apt-get and apt-use. Get options of app. There's app repository on etc app directory, sources.txt that I showed you last time. So based on that one, you're just going to say apt update, and it will go to the Debian repository, and it will make sure that your system is up to date. This apt update, and then there's sometimes -y is going to be prompted to you. If you didn't say the -y, it will say, do you want to continue? You say yes. So apt update. Then after that one, you could install on the Kali.org website. When you go there, this syntax and this one is actually part of their documentation. So I picked up that information from their documentation and just put it on this one and just tell you this is how you update it and then how to install. The version that you want to install this package, the package on this one, this Kali-Win-Kex. Kex is man Kex. If you do it, it gives you a lot of different types and options and arguments for it. I'm going to go through them also. But here you can see that when you do that, this package, this is a package, Kali-Win-Kex, that makes this graphical interface enabled for you, all those options are going to be done. So do that one, and that will just install it. You can then at the prompt become a root, a sudo, and then type in Kali win-Kex, and then it will start it for you. And then right here, I'm showing you two methods that if you are inside the WSL, which means you are in the prompt as root, you're going to run it. If you run it as regular user, it might not work with the desktop because a lot of the variable has to be set. So you have to be on the root level, and then which is sudo, it's u dash, and then you type in your password, the user ID and password. That would be prompting you, and then you just type in text dash win and dash s. Dash s means make the sounds supported. So this sound support has to be dash s, and then when is the option for Windows. Kex is like open a window kind of things rather than just a terminal. So that dash win is there. And then if you're doing it from the command prompt of PowerShell, you have to be administrator again, open as administrator, then you can say WSL-D. This -D means distribution. So you installed it already as Kali Linux. And then the next argument after Kali Linux, that's distribution name, you put Kex -win-s. This argument goes behind the Kali Linux, which means that now you have already installed it. If you want to start it from command prompt, you do that one. But if you didn't do it from command prompt, you say the WSL-D-Kali Linux, now you're at the WSL prompt. And then at the $ or pound sign, you just type in Kex-W. So this argument is if you're doing it from command line with passing this. But if you're already in Kali logged on, then you have to do the last part of it, which is Kex-win-s for sounds. And then this is also WSL for Kali win and Kex. At the same time, that part was just kind of like not installing everything, all the tools that you need. Sometimes when you need the entire kernel with WSL and default version to be set to version 2, then you're taking advantage of the kernel of Linux. That is what is that's version 2 means, that you're using the Linux kernel rather than being a subsystem and then everything is controlled within the version 1 of a subsystem. So in this case, you're connecting, installing the package called Kali Linux -large. -large is the option saying that I want every package, all the packages that are supported for Kali Linux, including the security tools, install those ones. So the first one, if you didn't get the security tools, you might not see anything when you just log in under the applications on these options, what are the available security tools that you can use. But with this option, you can get it with large package. So that's basically, and does that. And then the option of that one to start with that one, there's a -E meaning enhanced. S means a session, M is mode. So if you say --ESM, meaning that enable the Kex with enhanced session mode. And then --IP is meaning that use the IP address of the machine, and -S means that start with sound, support the, make sure that the sound and audio works also. So WSL-D-Kali Linux Kex ESM and --IP-S if you do it on the PowerShell. And if you're on the WSL already logged on, use Kex ESM-IP-S. Those two options you should know. And now we're coming to Ubuntu. So if you just search on the Microsoft Store for Linux Ubuntu, the first time you search, it will just come up with a button saying get. So you get that software, you click on it, it will go through installation. And once it is installed, then it's gonna just have this open. So my screen was just already, I had done it previous installation. I wanted to show you that it is already done. So this time I just open it. Once you open it, basically it gives you the option. But in this case, after I did this one, I had to also go on a graphical interface, install additional software and everything, and then made Ubuntu also and graphical interface to show up on desktop here. And here's the example of one of the desktop with Debian. There's a lot of these different background images that you can select it, and the list of the packages that are here that are showing you here. And then there's an option of the key F8. F8 is when you're on Kali Linux, if you want to just press F8 and the full screen it becomes like a window. So rather than just having a Kali Linux blocking everything for you, you just press F8 and then now you just have one Kali Linux running as one window. Here, that F8 does not work. You have to click on the screen on the top of remote desktop, and then that will resize it, and I'll show you both of them there. So these are the software that out of the box when it was installed after I did the update. All of these ones, like you can see, Firefox is there, and the terminals there, system monitor is there, calculator, videos, and then document scan, the contacts, a lot of things, clocks, and a lot of stuff, right? And you can install so many other packages and Microsoft Star Office and other ones. There's a lot of utilities that you can install on all these packages there if you just click on these ones, right? So that is also part of WSL for Ubuntu operating system. And this is an example of Oracle Linux 9.3 that I just installed part of it from the Microsoft Store. And then obviously, if you want to install this one, this is Fedora distribution, Red Hat, and Fedora. And then if you do a cat -n etc Red Hat -release, it will say Oracle Linux 9.3. And when you do DNF update, it will update it to go to 9.5, or if you do upgrade, it might go to 9.5, depending on which one you have issued the command and which one, how far you want to go. And sometimes you upgrade them. And then with DNF, obviously, with this one, you have to do install DNF, install group, group install or install group is group install. Group install, and then the name of the graphical interface is called server space width, and then a space GUI, all uppercase. And so that one you put it between the quotation, and then you install it, and then that install GNOME stuff and GNOME desktop and all that thing. And then at the same time you have to do server manager, and then after, not server manager, sorry, XRDP, and then after XRDP, you have to also do system CTL enable XRDP. On all of them, I had to do all of those, and then I'll show you a few steps after this. And I just want to, first of all, before I move on, I want to thank you for your time to watch it. And we're not done yet. Well, I'm going to show you more. So I just want to say thank you for your time, and I appreciate it if you are spending some time to watch it and make some comments. And if you like it, please subscribe, and then let me know how you feel about it, so I can make more improvement based on your needs. And then what I'm going to do on this one now, I'm going to show you first Microsoft Store. So I'm going to type in store here, or Microsoft Store. This one comes in. And then when you are at the Microsoft Store app, basically everything that you type in here is you can search. For example, I did Linux Kali. So you click on the Linux Kali, and then it says that what is available for you. Linux Kali, and then these ones, Ubuntu, and then just for the names, right? So Debians are available, and then WSL is available. You can do Oracle and everything else, Fedora, and then you can see just if you search for Linux, there's a number of them, right? So this is one way you can see it. You can also type in Linux and then notice that there's Kali Linux, Ubuntu, and then Termius, and then more and more Rapas. Some of those ones are not their applications. Like Oracle is Linux, right? Oracle. So if you type in Oracle and then Linux 9 or something, you can see here under apps, whatever is the one that is available, you can see that Oracle 9. And now Oracle 9 is, if I want to just install this one, it's just Oracle 9. I get the option of Git. And then here's some samples for description of what is available, what is the rating and everything. But at the same time, if I say 9.3, then a different screen may show up here. Like you can see, I search it and then says Oracle 9.3, and these are available for Oracle 9.3. Let me zoom out of my way. And right here, you can see that with Oracle 9.3, when I search it, these are available. So, and if I search for Ubuntu, obviously, Ubuntu, you can see there's a number of them. The one that I did was 24.04. So if you click on this one, it just says 24.04. And since I already installed it, it just stays open. Canonical group is for Ubuntu. And then if you just install these ones and so for some reason you are unable to configure it the way you want it, it should be okay with Ubuntu, and I'm just showing you both of them today. But if you are having a difficult time and not finding the right package or something, you can just write me some notes and I'll help you out. But if you also don't want to install it as Ubuntu, don't waste your time or your put too much effort on it, something that it might be just because that feature is still under development. So if you are doing it on Oracle and Oracle is not configured with the graphical interface, if you try to kind of spin your wheels on it, it might not worth your time. So just don't work too much. It's not worth it. You could just say, okay, I'm going to download that one as a virtual box, and it's already available. Like here, I could just show you under VirtualBox, I already have Linux Ubuntu running, right? So if I say, let me log in here, and you can see here, I'm already running Ubuntu version, cap -MEPC OS-release. So a lot of these ones under VirtualBox or VMware is already supported there. I have version 24, I have version 22, I have a lot of them. So if I just want to say, go ahead, shut down this one, I don't need this one. This was just, I brought it up for the purpose of showing you that, yeah, this is already available on VirtualBox. And notice how many VMs I have here. Okay, so I'm going to close this virtual machine here to just get some of the resource back. This is my background that is on Windows. So let me just make sure that the size of the display is the recommended, because I had to resize a little bit. I think for the one that I did was okay. I'm going to leave it just because the fact due to the fact that this is okay. Yeah, and for the personalized, yeah, these are different images. You can always switch it between back and forth on the other ones. So that is just the Windows stuff, right? So if you just want to decide to do something else on it, you're welcome to do that one. But notice here, if I just say, go to display setting, and I want to just say, and the scale, instead of 125, I want it 150, the recommended one. So this one, I'm going to show you in a bigger, because sometimes when I make YouTube channel videos, I want people to just not have a hard time looking at the fonts that are too small for them. So it's easier for them to just take a look and they can read it. So and now coming back to the topics. So we did the command lines, I mean the Microsoft Store. I'm gonna show you from command lines. So on the command line, if you right click here, and then this is PowerShell, you can just click on PowerShell prompt and say run as administrator. It will open a PowerShell terminal here. So notice that this is the PowerShell terminal. Those three commands that I told you, it is you set it up, you reboot your machine, now you're set up with PowerShell. And if I just make this screen wider, and you can just say type in WSL for Windows Subsystem -- help, and the whole Windows Subsystem syntax and semantics, arguments, everything is there. Which one you want to pass on and which one you don't want to do it. So, and this is PowerShell. I could say WSL -L for list, just a list of the virtual machine that I have configured on this machine. So you can see I have Ubuntu 24.04, default one, Oracle 9.3, Oracle 9.1, Fedora, Kali Linux. Let's say I don't want this Oracle 9.1, I could say I don't need two of them, I could say, excuse me, let's say I want to just terminate that one. I could say, first, I want to make sure that what is running, is say -- running, which one is running? There's right now Ubuntu and Kali is running. So if I want to just get to the default one, Ubuntu, by default, I could just say WSL and it will just drop onto that one because this is already default one. And then if I say cat -n etc OS-release, it should say to Ubuntu 24.04. That's the one that is there. But if I just say exit out here, say WSL -L, and then notice that Ubuntu was default one. If I want to just start maybe Oracle 9.3, I could say WSL -D distribution and then just give this name. And this name says that even though the other one is default, I want to start Oracle here. So then now if I say cat -n etc OS-release, that is going to show that Oracle Linux 9 server, right? 9.5, because I did a DNF update and then upgrade. So all of that is showing you here. At the same time, if I say, what is the uptime on this system? You can see it's the last minute or two I have started. So if I exit out of that one and say WSL -L, and then now you can see Ubuntu is default one. I can also start switch between them. So let's just go to Kali Linux. I could say WSL -D Kali Linux. That would just bring Kali Linux up, right? Kali Linux up, and then now I'm on Kali Linux hostname, cat -n etc OS-release, and you can see that it's OS-release. And because it's Debian package, you can see it's the Debian. Now that repository is application package toolkit. So if I just say clear screen and say ID, notice that I'm just regular user, right? And say get int a password and then backtick ID-UN. That prompt me to the same thing as whether I type in that or I could say $$ ID-UN. That also give me the same thing, or I could just type in simply Wahid, and that would give me that. Why am I showing you that one? Because at this time, you can see it is mounting a C Windows directory as my default directory. So if I just type in this, my default directory, if I just go, it should be $home, echo $home is the same thing as a get. So I'm logged on as Wahid1 here, right? ID-UN, it's going to say Wahid1. But if I just say PWD, it says this. So get end password Wahid1, you can see is my home directory is Wahid1, and that's how pwd or tilde. Tilde means to go to the same directory. So whether I type in this or say cd tilde, it will just take me to the same place. If I go to some other directory, clear screen, make their programs, and then go to programs, and then let's say I just make a directory, a couple of directories, say make their C, C++, Python, JS. So any of those, the directory I just created, notice that because I have the user ID, all of those ones just got created with those permissions correctly, everything there. So at this time, if I say ID dash UN, it says Wahid, user ID and name, right? And now I'm gonna switch user sudo, switch user do su dash. That means switch user as for the user Wahid, and while you switch it, run the profile of shell root. This dash means run the profile of root. Notice ID dash n is root, but notice the prompt is pound. So echo $sign PS1. PS1 is now saying that slash h is the host name, and then slash u is the user at. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So God bless me and bless you all. So here echo percentage u as the user, and then percentage slash at, and then slash h, not percentage slash. Slash h is host, and then slash w is the home directory, and so on. And slash w is somewhere here, right there. And that means that's the working directory, which is this. And then after that one is the $sign here, and then the closing the color, which is that option. So if I just go here, ID, notice if I just do the same thing here, echo $sign PS1, PS1 is still pointing to those ones, but this time, because my ID is Wahid1, ID dash UN is Wahid1, so now slash U, it changes to Wahid1. Because remember I showed you get end password Wahid1, it is going to say that what is the user ID here? And it's reading from the password file. So grep -I Wahid1, it will see password, and it will see shadow. All of those informations are there, right? I'm not looking at the shadow because I logged on as a regular user, and this is not readable unless you do with sudo. And then the other two files you could do is say grep -I Wahid1, etc password, and etc group. Those two files are readable. So everywhere that the user Wahid is accessing it, it is available there. And then the fact that I'm part of the admin group, I could do sudo, or part of the sudo, I have sudo privilege. So now I could say sudo su dash, and right away I become root. Okay, so now I have become root. I am on Ubuntu, I believe. Let me just see whether I am on the which system. Maybe I am on the Kali Linux. Yeah, Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is Debian. That's why I said Ubuntu. Ubuntu and Kali, both of them were based on Debian distribution. So the app package toolkit is the one. So app dash get and then list will just not give you something, but app list will give you. So no, clear screen. App I mistyped it. You see both time. App get is the one that is typed correctly, but app list. App list will give you all the list of packages. App get and then install would be the command, or apt install. So I'll show you. Look at how many packages are there on the system. Just for Python, there was so many. So for Ruby was so many there. So by default, when you do this one, which Python 3, Python is already there. Python 3 dash version. It is out of the box. You have Python 3.12. for the version of OS dash release of Kali Linux of 2024.4. So this is Kali Linux and this one there, and then also which GCC is also by default is installed. You can see dash dash version is 14. If you say GCC dash v lowercase, it will tell you how GCC was compiled. So you can do that. And then which G++, that's for C++, GNU, C and C++, collection compilers called G++ and GCC. The two of them, G++ for C++, and then GCC for C. So G++ dash V also tell you that it was compiled for 64-bit operating system. i6086 and 64 was X. When you see this one, that means that if you type in uname-m on machine type or uname-p for platform, in this case, the platform is not shown, but the uname machine type, uname-a, it will tell you that machine type is x64 bit, and then -m for machine type will show you. Uname-o is the version of this. Uname-s for system name, -- kernel name is the same thing. And so we're logged on as root here, right? As this. The next thing that I did was that did apt update. When you do apt update -y, it will just go through all the packages. Since I have already done it, this will be fast, and at this time it does not going to just do much because last time it was done, you can see it is going to say package requirement met. 6 package can be upgraded if we do apt list. And at this time I could do this, get a list of upgradable. Well, I'm going to do 6 packages and then obviously without that code. Apt list -- upgradable, and then they say Chromium, Firefox, and Kali manual, Kali Win-Kex. And Kali Win-Kex is the one that we want to start from the system when you're here to get into the graphical interface, right? If we want to get it through this one from here, we could just say, let me do a man Kali first to show you the options. So man Kex. Kex, this would give you the options of how it's done. Wow, it just kicked me out. So it shouldn't kick me out, but it did. So let me see why. No, actually, it did it kick me out? Post name. Yeah, that one kicked me out. This is Ubuntu. Blur screen. So let me exit out of Ubuntu and exit out of this and then exit out. I'm gonna just go back to the Kali Linux. So here you open it and you say WSL. Oh, actually, exit out. When you start the Kali Linux or other ones, you don't have to go in graphical interface or root as root. You don't need to do a root as root anymore, and you can even do like Kali here and just start it here the app, and that will just drop you to this. Notice that I'm getting the regular user ID -un. So this just basically whether I type in a command prompt, say WSL L for listing, and since Kali is not the default one, I have to say WSL D and Kali Linux. This would just take me to Kali Linux. Notice the two screen are the same. This one was a previous one, and this is the other one that I just opened. So disregard to whether you do it from command line typing it or just go on the Microsoft the start menu. You just start it, and either one give you the same this. So now if I close it and close this one, and then I don't have anything, watch. I'm gonna go Kali Linux here. It's gonna drop me to the user Wahid one, and then cat minus -etc was dash release. It is Kali Linux. So you could do it that way. The option that we are going to start it when we did the option of starting up, if you do it as a regular user, it's not going to have the permission to uh, do everything. So what you want to do is first, as this one, even if you did it from command line or just open this one, what I want you to do is become, if I say kicks, let me just show you exactly the PowerPoint to make sure that the PowerPoint matches with the steps that we are highlighting it. These are the important things that you need to do it, right? So this one, it says kicks dash dash win dash s for this. In order, if I just do this one from the Kali Linux, right? So kicks dash dash win dash s. So if I say kicks dash dash win dash s, this will just prompt me. But I'm going to show you one thing that is different with regular user Wahid one or password of with sudo access. So now it's prompting me for Wahid one, and I'm going to type the password. If I mistyped it, it's going to prompt me again. But if I typed it correctly, it's going to say, okay, yeah, I did try it right. But notice is an unexpected error occurred communication with the server. Opening password file failed. So somehow maybe it misunderstood the password. So let me try that one. Notice that I already have an X session with X Tiger VNC for it. And this is port number 1, display 1, port number 5901. If this display was 2, this would be port number 5902. So the Tiger VNC at the start with 5900, and it increment for every display that you open, it will just increment the port number to 5901 or 5902 based on display 2, and 5903 based on display number 3, and so on. So that is important for you to match it, whatever is the display number that's 59, that number, 5901 or 2 or 3. Up to whatever number, and then if it is a larger number, obviously 5911 rather for the 11. So that's RHEL VNC is same kind of syntax, and Tiger VNC is same thing. And RHEL VNC is pretty cool too. I have used it and I have configured it, admin it and install it, everything. On this one, it is also using remote desktop for it. So I'm going to show you both. So let's first become root here. I'm going to say sudo su dash, and then I'm going to become root here. ID dash un is there. Now I'm going to say kicks dash dash win dash s, and then it's going to prompt me for the password. Okay, so I'm going to just confirm that one over and over, and unfortunately it's going to prompt you so many times that is kind of redundant. And once you type in a password, oh, this time it did not match because you bother me too much. Sorry. I should have taken it. Once you type in once, it should not verify 10 times. That's too excessive. And again, look, it's prompting me one more time. Whoever coded this one was not sure how many times you should prompt it. So now you can see I'm on Kali Linux desktop because it is an environment that is there. So if I right click here, say desktop setting, I could just change it to a desktop that's different. Notice every desktop that you choose, it gives you an option there. If I could show you a few of them, and then there's available all of these nice, cool desktop as the background. So let's say I want to adjust this one. You could just click on it and then say, okay, that's good. And then at this time, you close that one. Now, notice here, you have all these options on the menu. If I just open a terminal here, the terminal is basically prompting me that say, okay, I have this information that you logged in as root on the system, and then PS minus P process one, you can see it is running Kali Linux, but init is system 5, so it's not system D. However, something like if I say app a list and then word count minus L, I'm going to just get a list of 69,475 packages. So let me make that screen bigger because I had to zoom in. My eyes are not that good. I'm sitting too far from it. So notice that I'm just seeing this, right? At this time, if I say clear screen and say, let's say, for example, I want to get to see if XRDP is running or not. So you can see XRDP is not running, but because we had run the real VNC, we were automatically getting into the system of Linux on graphical interface, right? So here, I also had so here, if you just open the whole thing as this icon, sometimes you might say, well, how do I get back to my desktop if I just move in here, nothing is available. Just press F8, and just click on this full screen to just say, don't get it full screen. Now you have your desktop as well as that, right? And then pressing F8 again, if you just make it full screen, that will just go away, right? Now you are very hard, you're only running on Kali Linux. And then here, if you just look at these options, notice the software that are installed, because we installed the dash large one, Kali dash Win dash large, or Kix dash large. That one, it gives you the option of having everything. You can see here. So notice that, for example, some of the testing information gathering, just for information gathering, you have DNS analysis, I have DNS IP penetration, live host identification, network and port scanning. There's a lot of it, SSL, SMTP, and then for vulnerabilities, there's also Cisco tools, fuzzing, the stress testing, and so on. There's so many of them. Web application, whatever you want to test on the web, database, SQL, structured query language, MDB-SQL, OSCAP. There's a lot of them, right? You can see the list on and on. And then for password attack, if you want to just do what type of attack, it is available there. Brute force attack and so on. Wireless attack, wireless, and then you might have Wireshark and everything, reverse engineering. Wow, there's so many tools, right? And then exploitation tool that is there. But you want to make sure that forensic stuff, make sure that you're not hacking people. You're just doing ethical stuff, and then that's what you're gonna learn to do good at your job, and make sure that there's no vulnerability on your system, and patch it your system, and solve the issues, not create issues. So here I'm logged on as this, and then if I just say, well, that is a graphical interface of this one. If I want to just do some software installation, obviously we already looked at GCC dash version. We had it, and then we could code and everything. If you say, how about Python? Can we test Python? Yes, you can test Python. So Python and dash version was saying 3.12. If I say pip in the list, see all the packages of pip that are installed, you can see the list of packages for Python that are already there. Look at how many of them are there. And if you say like something like SQL or MySQL or something, it's all these one there. There's a lot of them that is already there on system. So like PEP, list normally it's not that big, but look at how many of them are 704 of them. That's a lot. So let's see PEP list grep minus, I'm gonna just say e grep minus I PEP. So PEP for sure it's there, and numpy, see if it is there or not. Pandas, if it is there or not. Usually numpy and pandas is not there by default, but maybe on Kali Linux they did it already. Request is on subsystems or by default there. So look, panda is already there, and then numpy is already there, and then pep is there, everything. Request is there. So in each one of these ones, if you want to just go in Python, you say get me in Python, and then say import pandas as PD, and then import numpy as np, and then let's say import requests. So these are the packages that we just used those tools. So if I want to just say, for example, let's create a series and say S1 is equal, and then numpy dot series, actually pandas PD dot and series, and then we just say a list of 1 comma 3 comma 5 comma 7 comma 9. So that is all the odd numbers there. You could do that one and say S1 here. Now type of S1, you can see S1 is a series, panda series, right? But at the same time, if I say S2 is equal numpy dot array, and then we just say an array of those numbers, I could just say x for x and range of 10, and then say fx mod 2 is not equal 0, is not equal 0, meaning that if it is odd number. So now S2 is also the same numbers that we did for S1 there. And now one is type of panda, the other one is type of S2 is Python and numpy. You can see that the difference there. So now if I say and the S2 is this, and then S2 dot times 10, you can just see multiply it there. And then at the same time, if I just say, how about using the request to just get some data into from let's just use a request. I'm gonna say I did an import or not. I'm gonna import request again. Just it is not gonna bother. Directory of request. Notice that these are the functions that are requests, all the methods and then attributes and everything that are there available here. Similarly, you can see some other module like URL 3 and all the utils and all those ones are other packages. Something similar for numpy, in addition to numpy being a package that the list goes on. So there's so many of them. So similarly for pandas, you have series, you have data frame, and data frames are rows and table columns, which is like a table. So data frame, if you look at this one, it is a lot of them, and there are data what do I call it, pandas as PD is the data frame. So if I just say, for example, look at the request, I'm gonna say result is equal, let's just say requests dot get, and then I just say HTTPS myWebUniversity.com/chapter4.html. So this is my book on chapter4.html. And then if I just do that one and say, and this result, now request did not come. Request, I typed it wrong. And the U was mistyped. So now let's correct that one. Say request is misspelled. Request. So result is equal request. I'm sorry, get dot request. Get dot request. Sorry. Requests dot get, and that should be okay. But let's see if I can copy this one again and paste it here. Copy selection and paste it selection, and somehow HTTPS. Yeah, so the code right here was missing. The code. I missed the code. So the request, the get method requires an argument, and you start with single quote. Now it works. So result now is telling me that's 200. That means it came out okay. Result.ok is saying that, yeah, it's true. Result.text is giving me the text portion of that page, HTML. Result.content give me all the content and byte operation. So now if I say data is equal pv.panda.read underscore HTML, that's HTML page, right? So I'm going to say read the result as output, and then says cannot get it. Most likely this LXML, some other packages that has to be installed. So sometimes when you get these options, you have to go on the pep and install additional packages. So let's see, HTML, HTML.py, HTML.py, LXML. Okay, so you can say cannot parse from response. Somehow the LXML package is not available, maybe, or other ones. So here I could say import OS, and then say os.system, and then say pep install LXML. Let's see if that is the package that we need to install it. Since we're on Python 3-LXML, and that is not doing it, or either I'm going to try with a sudo in front of it, because it might be with permission. So it's not that. I'm going to try Python 3-HTML5 lib. So for this package, it might be HTML5 package is missing. There might be some additional packages that I have to install. Let me just see that message if it makes a little bit sense this time. Result. So result is having that, and then I say panda.read HTML. Read HTML is good, and somehow response I cannot parse from this. Oh, read HTML.content. That's why we have to read the content, because whenever you just say result is only this, but result.content is the entire page. It has to be in a table format. So when you do this one and data result.content, now you're reading it. So now data has more information on my chapter 4. So this, you see the direct path to Linux Ubuntu, the entire chapter 4 with all the commands that I'm covering, it is listed here and there. Similarly, if I want to read chapter 2 or something. So look at this one. If I go on the browser just using this one, I could say, go to https://www.mywebuniversity.com, and then take me to my main book, which is the Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu, and chapter 4 is one of them. Notice the URL is chapter 4, this one. And the way the format of this one is all this table, it is an HTML format as a table. So I read it with Panda and request method, and then you can manipulate data. So that was an example of how you do that one with this. Obviously, you could read another table or something, and then if you want to do like a data dictionary or something, you could do that one. But this would be off of the topic with um, Fedora and other ones on Kali. I'm going to just cover those ones on a separate video in there. So I showed you like this one in a graphical interface, and you could change it everything. So now I'm going to shut down this one. Since we have it, what I want to show you also, PS minus EFA, or actually PS minus P1, and then dash O for option, and then comma for command. So now you can see it is just basically process 1, which is this init. Init is system D. Kali Linux, process ID 1, which is on a newer system, it is called system D. On system 5, it's called init. This is init as the mother prompt. With the init, you have something called services. Services, so services here is service. Service is the system. So if you say service dash dash status dash all, it will show all the processes, including XRDP and other ones. So if I do install XRDP and then I just enable it, and I can configure it that way, it is one way to run remote desktop to connect to this machine. So right now on this machine, if you want to just remote desktop to it, so let's do IPA, and then you can see here, clear screen, IPA show Ethernet 0. You can see here the IP address is this, right? But in order to just make sure that XRDP is running, so here you see status, and then grep minus I XRDP. XRDP is enabled, is there, but it's not enabled. So I showed you PS minus Q or minus P1, it will show that the init is there, right? As process 1. So PS3 process is stream 3 of 1, it will tell you that this one process is init, and all the sub processes, child process with the process ID numbers and the thread numbers are all here in like a tree format, right? So S3 PWDX 1, you can see where this part of P map. These are proc file system in Linux. That is based on that one process map. It's just shows you a memory map of those processes and all of that. Like the P LDD one, this one is basically process on the shared object files, LDD. And then also like dynamic link library on other ones. So when you say which init, you can see LDD user sben init will just give you all the shared object files here. So there's a lot more into this kernel that you could learn and then do it. Like if I just want to say ls CPU, that is a Linux command that it will show you list the CPU, and right here, ls CPU, it will just give you all the information about your CPU. Similarly, ls hardware. If it is not there, ls hardware, it is not there. So you could see cat minus n proc / CPU info. that would just give you line number, but actually there's nothing on the proc/CPU info. But notice that it is 0 byte because it's pseudo file system. It is memory based. However, when you do cat the content of it, these 224 lines are read from memory. So that's what it is happening. Similarly for the ls minus d proc mem info, memory information. So notice it's 0 byte, but if I say cat minus n proc/mem info, you can see there's 50 lines and it tells you that how much memory you have, a total of 16 gig and so on, how much is allocated and how much is used, how much is free and so on. Swap minus s, sorry, swap on, swap minus s, you can do swap on and then that dash s will give you that information with the swap space. But you can also say cat/proc/swaps. That will tell you how much swap you have also. So whether you type in this in the command or you could type in free-h, it will tell you your memory on your system, how much of memory it is there. So there's a lot of commands there that we could do all day, but let's just go back to the part of if you're missing a software, how do you install it? Like which node.js, and it's already installed, so you could just see that user ben node.js dash version, and it's telling you that this is the version there. So node.js, and then you just drop on the console and then say dot help. It is giving you the help, and you say console.log and then say hello world. I mean, you could just do things there .exit to exit out. You can test a lot of stuff here. At the same time, if you did a C or C++ code, you could do that one. Remember, I create the home Wahid here, CD home, and then CD home Wahid 1. So under Wahid 1, I created the programs, a couple of directories. So let's create a C directory, and then we say, okay, we're on C directory. Let's write a hello world here to compile it and see how it works there, right? So I'm on this directory, and I just want to say vim hello.c, and now say pound, and then say include, and then standard io.h as header files, and say end main function, and start the brace, say printf, and then say hello world, and then /n /n, and then close it, and then right there put a semicolon, return, and then say 0 semicolon, and then close it. So if I just say set minus set mu, you can see the line numbers are showing. So I have line 6 closing that one, and everything should be okay. So if I have a typo, I will correct it. But let's say I don't have a typo, I need to compile it. So clear screen cat minus n hello.c. If I want to see all the end of line marker, everything, cat minus ea, and then hello.c, you can see that the $ at the end of line of every line marker that are just there as end of line. You can also do an octal down minus c hello.c. You can see the files. And then this one, the new line characters, or instead of $ shows there. And then vi, if you do via vim hello.c, you say set a list. You can see the $ there also that way. So now we're doing it. At this time, pwd ls minus l, only one file. So I say file hello.c. It is just ASCII text. Notice on Kali Linux, everything that we have done so far, we didn't have to install anything. Like sometimes on Oracle, like 9.1, we had to type in hostname and courses for clear command and so on. But here, everything works. File we had to install. So here it works, and then we say, okay, it is there. And now I'm going to do a GCC -o hello, and then hello.c, meaning that compile hello.c. So init is wrong, and then I'm going to say vim hello.c. I meant to write, so I'm going to search for init. I meant to say end. The return type of that function main is end, and meaning return 0 if it's successful. So now it compiles it, and then now it create a file called hello, and then that's a executable length format 64-bit. That means I can write it as hello, and it will just run that one. At the same time, I could just put other options. If I want to man GCC syntax, I could do it. Notice that the manual page is not there. That means you have to install it and there. So let's see if we can just do that one. And then the way you do that one is say, and this one is apt install lib C++ lib standard C++ -docs. And then also, let's say apt install man-pages. See if that is there. Those two packages are not showing up. So say apt search, and then say man-pages. See if there's a package name called man-pages here. You can see maybe catman has to be installed. And so the name of packages on Ubuntu a little bit tedious to find it. With Red Hat, another one, Fedora, you say DNF provides, and then the name of the thing, it will just show it. But we can also search it on the internet. So that was one, and then I wanted to do this one. So with the search, I'm gonna say apt search, and then say let's std C++ -doc. See if there's a package like that, or docs, or the docs is not showing. Search. Okay, so left std C++ is there. So let me just see if I could do a grep -i doc. Yeah, so it was not docs. You can see there's version 14. This is the one that we're running. So I'm going to just say apt install lib std C++ -14 -doc. That should install the package, and then once that one is installed, then those functions and include files should be listed there. So now it is installed, that one. I could say, if I did this one with this install, and instead of that one, I could say list, apt list of it, or apt info. It will say that it is installed here. You can see apt info, and then let std C++ -14 -doc. You can see that it is information about where this package is and all that information. So remember, I was not getting command GCC. Now it is still not doing it. Okay, I did the C++, which means man G++ should work. No. Okay, so let's see why that doesn't work. I'm gonna say apt install G++. I think it is already there. Set to manually installed. Okay, so I'm gonna say apt reinstall G++. That will reinstall it. see if any packages are there, but G++ is still not returning manual pages. So man pwd is coming. Man scanf will not be there. It is there. Man, why G++ is not showing up? GCC is not showing up. Man Python, all other ones are showing except GCC and G++. So let's search on the internet. We say google.com man GCC no manual entry. So this one is how to fix the GCC entry. And here on the Stack Overflow, they say some packages maybe needs to be installed. So I'm going to try to do the man GCC, which a user ben GCC is there. And then this is the version. So the answer they're giving it is with GCC. We already did that one, user dash version. Okay, man C language. I thought it was there. User prefix 6. CLAN man install GCC dash doc. Okay, so that's the package name, and GCC dash doc, and most likely the other one is G++ dash doc. So let's try that one, GCC dash doc and G++ dash doc. So here we have it, and going back to this screen here, clear screen and say app and GCC dash doc. Sorry, app install GCC dash doc. That will install GCC, and then man and GCC now. Oh, sorry. Once you do that one, it prompts you for a yes, which I have to install it. It is doing it now. Clear screen. Man GCC, now it works. And then man G++ may still not work. Yeah, it is two of them together. So the GCC and G++ are the same thing. Whenever you search for man G++, it opens GCC. So the whole thing is like 600 pages long. And if you just did not find it on this one, you are welcome to search it on my website. And so, like for example, MyWebUniversity.com, you go here on the documentation. I have documentation for it on Ubuntu as well as Red Hat and so on. So let's say you're looking at Red Hat manual page for GCC. You type in Control C and then say GCC, and then right here GCC.1, and it's the manual page here. And notice how many pages it? 678 pages long. And this is an PDF format. As you can see on my website, I made thousands, 32,000 PDF files from all those manual pages that you could be logging in on a Linux machine. I made it for you, available on my website in a PDF format at the tip of your fingertips. You just come in and learn Rocky, Ubuntu, Red Hat, Windows PowerShell, all of those ones, that the documentations are there, thousands of them. And here's each one of them you click on. And notice that if you're even looking for C header files, I have C and C++. So for example, IO stream, you look for it, it is there, and then just look at the documentation here. Okay. So there's this stuff available for you. And then here, we already installed that one also. It is there. I mean, I could go on with a few hours to a day or two, and then there's still not enough to cover. And I don't want to get off of topic, but someone mentioned that it is very nice video on yours last time, and he mentioned a little bit off the topic, but very much he liked it. However, when you see something that I'm covering, I'm trying to make sure that everybody's expecting something from the video. I don't understand like everybody's need. So I don't know what you might be interested on to learn and that things, whether you want to work on HTML or Python or C or C++ or MySQL or database or Perl or anything, right? Operating system, application software, creating an account or something. I could show you something, but then if it doesn't benefit you, just jump out of that topic and move on to the next one where you find something interesting. It's gonna help you someday. And that's what my goal is, to just meet as many people and help them as much possible. So like here, I just said user account. Let's say user add Wahid. And now the user Wahid is done. So and grep -i Wahid, etc password, etc shadow, etc group, all have some entry for that user Wahid. Notice that Wahid 1 is the different one. So if I just say, show me only Wahid, but not Wahid 1, I could say grep -v Wahid 1. So now I only see the user Wahid is there, right? So then the password file, you can see the shadow file has an exclamation, meaning the password is not set yet. If I just change the password, then it will not be done. So I'm going to temporarily say pass WD Wahid and say set a password Wahid, and then I'm going to type in let's see, I'm going to type in something, um, anything, right? And then let's see if I could type in. It's not gonna just fail because I just type in the same password again twice. So now if I just do that grep command here, and then you can see the password on the shadow file has a long encrypted stuff. So I'm going to delete the account. So don't try to say, well, he's showing me on Kali Linux, and then he's giving me the password in encrypted mode, and then I just garbagely wrote something. Even if you just memorize the combination and you figure out the decryption part of it, it is useless because I'm going to delete that account and I just did not give a meaningful password that I normally use. That was just to show you this exclamation mark. And somebody might just say, how is this Kali for security when the user ID is Kali and the password is Kali, the default one? Or the root, the user ID is Kali, root, and then the password is backward root. Yeah, those are for demo. Those are not just assuming that you're going to do it on your production, and this is for learning, and so it's okay for those things. Or sometimes when I do something or somebody else does something, that doesn't mean that if you read their MAC address or their host name or something, then now you can compromise them. They're not going to run those machines mostly for demo. I just shut down this machine and I'm not even logged on to it. It's a power off. You can't hack off on something that is power off. So don't be afraid when people scare you off of something like, oh, that's so much security. When I was having this website on MyWebUniversity, I was running these things. Let me show you. MyWebUniversity.com. So I could say go to chapter 5, and then I was basically allowing users to come in here and then practice Linux. So if you type in PWD, you will get the print working directory. If you type in calendar, you get the current month. If you say give me the date, it will get the date of the system. Say system, you name -a, you will get the system information. If you say ls-l, you get it. But then somebody might just say, let me hack it and say, okay, how about doing something like creating a user account, user add Wahid123 or whatever. And now it says that you cannot create that done. If I say, okay, what about SQL injection kind of things? I could say PWD is allowed, and then ls-l is allowed. And then I'm going to say echo testing, or just not testing, rm -rf slash. I'm going to just write that one to temp s.bash script, and then just say change mode 755, and then temp s.bash, and then or just type in bash -x. You don't need to change mode on it. Then temp as bash. I mean s dot bash. So all of that information was a waste of time of somebody trying because my program is smart enough to say what you're typing and what I'm going to allow, what I'm not going to allow. But if you come and say calendar of 1998, and then if I allow it, I'll produce it out. Okay, so that's sometimes these things that you do on the system to help people. And then now I'm going to say user del Wahid account. Now Wahid is gone. But notice that /home Wahid was not there at all, because when I did a user add, I did not do it. So in order to just create it efficiently, I could say user add -m -d/home/Wahid minus shell/bin/bash and the username Wahid. Now I have grep -i Wahid, etc password, etc shadow, etc group, and then grep -v Wahid1. Now you can see they are set. But this time, the password, I have not set it. And then now this time I have a directory also, /home/Wahid is there. So get end password Wahid is going to tell me that this is the shell that I defined, and this is the home directory that I defined, this is a user ID. If I do the same thing for Wahid1, notice that this home directory is different. So this time if I say user del Wahid and just delete it. Now notice because I created those ones, the home directory and other ones should be gone as well, right? So if I just say user del Wahid and then just do this grep command here, that is nothing here, but how about /home Wahid? That's also gone. But actually the directory is there, right? ls-ld, when you say it, the directory is there. So in order to clean it further, you say rm -rf home Wahid. Now the directory is not there, it says command not found. Okay. So that is about it on this one. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, 12:41. It is already 41 minutes past midnight. So I'm going to finish it with one more thing here. I'm going to shut down this one, say shut down -h now. And then notice that it says you cannot shut down from the system D here because this is init, right? So init, they say, if I say power off, it was not allowing me. But if you recall it, when I did the other one, which was I'm going to press F8 and do this one. Well, on Ubuntu, I was able to do power off on there and shut it down and then do it this way. So the way you do it from this subsystem, there's a trick that you can also do it from here. So now here, say clear screen and say df -h, clear screen, uptime. Notice the uptime says 2 hours and 19 minutes. Okay, so that's pretty good timing. And last, you can see if it is not installed, it says, okay, the WTM is not installed. Do you want to install it? It says, yeah, go ahead and install it. And this is just basically show you the last the users that are logged on, the system that are rebooted. So you can see last right now, unable to open it. Obviously, there's some more cannot open the database because it has to be set and then WTM DB var left WTMP DB /WTM DB. So touch. I think for the last there's another one. So man last, let's see what is WTM and DB display login, and then most likely there's an option here. I haven't done that one for a while, but WTMDB. Okay, so man WTMDB. So that WTMDB is the command that is set up last than all other ones. Let's see if we just run the WTMDB last man WTMDB. And it says command and then display it, shut down, and display most the limit files. See also mer install WTMDB. Install a copy files set attribution. Not mer. Sorry, I mistyped the thing. Clear screen. I have installed WMDB. Summary updated in this one. It is not there. Already installed. Okay, so last is display command, last username, and then hostname. Repeat shutdown. So for the last, and why it's not showing somehow the WTM database is not getting created. I'm going to log out and log in back to see if the system after the upgrade upgrade or update, maybe it did not update it correctly. But sometimes when these things happen, the first thing you want to do is exit out of it and then log out. Make sure that you're out of it. Let me just go back. I still have Kali running here, so I'm gonna just say power off here. We could do that one, and to say shut down or log out. Log out would be logging me out here. Then I'm gonna open a prompt again here, and then on this one I'm gonna say cd to the root clear screen and then WSL-L dash running to see what's running. And then Kali is running still. So I'm gonna say WSL to drop to the Kali. If Kali is not the default one, it will take me to Ubuntu, cat minus n etc OS dash release. Here is Ubuntu. I don't want to get into Ubuntu. So WSL-L and then now WSL-L is Kali is not the default one, Ubuntu is the default one. In order to make the default one, you say W-L -S means switch, and then to Kali-Linux. Kali-Linux. And now I say WSL is going to take me to Kali-Linux. Cat -n etc OS release. And notice that that one is up and running. If I look at the uptime, it is showing 2 hours and 27 minutes. So what I'm going to do, exit out of here, WSL-L running, it will show that Kali is still running. I want to terminate that one. So WSL-T and then Kali-Linux, that would be terminating it. However, it is not shut down yet. So what I need to do is WSL shutdown -C Kali Linux. That would shut down the cell. The -C means cell, shutdown is this one is that. You don't do shutdown because of the system D is not supported, and then there's no command to do power off and other ones, even though those options are showing on the Windows subsystem, but they are disabled. So this is how you shut down that cell. Now you say in -L, when you run this -L command here again, let me just
do that one, right here, -1, you see that it is nothing is running. WSL dash and dash on dash dash list dash dash running is the same thing as dash L and dash running. So it is not running now. We log into WSL because it's default one. We're on Kali. Now, if I say uptime, this time is 0 minute. So it is not 2 hours. Now we have restarted the system and we want to just get it back to the root and then run those other commands. So let's see if I do last here. Now it says unable to open database file. So somehow cannot open the database file. And this var temp DB, it's supposed to be created by the system automatically when you do the last installation. So sudo su dash app reinstall last actually says unable to locate last app reinstall wtemp db maybe is the name. Yeah, wtemp db is the name. So we're installing that with mandb and all the other ones. So now we say last and it works. So that's how you fix it, by just installing reinstall wtemp after that one, right? So now I logged on and on the system, I'm still logged on and there. And then next time after days and months, you will see this wtemp.db file gets updated. So file, and this one is now fresh file that just got created as the SQLite version. So SQLite is good, and then that is file is a SQLite database file, and then we could just show you more on the SQLite as well. But let's just exit out of this one. We're done with this one. I'm going to do this. One other thing I want to do on the command line, remember the kickstash install, I could also do something like this. Say WSL dash distribution name Kali Linux, and then kick/win dash install. You could do an enterprise server manager. You could do it like this one also. Enterprise session management dash dash IP dash s. You could try it like that too also. And it's going to prompt you for the password. And here the display is set now. Display is 5901 and then 1. So now notice that Xtiger VNC is there. That means I can just go on Microsoft Terminal Console, say Microsoft Terminal Service Console, open as a remote desktop, and then this IP address that I'm doing here, if I just say WSL, just to go to the default one and say IP page show address, show Ethernet 0, you can see that it is 74.112. So on the 112, if I just go to the same IP address, I connect here. Now it's going to try to connect to it, but I have to run XVNC and other stuff on it, because right now I'm not running it. It is, even though it's there, it is not seeing the same session. Here, you see that? So let's just see if we can configure it to just listen to the same port that we're listening here. So clear screen sudo is u dash. I must type it, sorry. Clear screen, and I'm going to say netstab -an, and then grep -I for listen. See what we are listening already. And you can see 5901 is the port that is listening. 5901, it was the one, so I'm going to go to
Microsoft Terminal Service Console, and then instead of this IP address, I'm going to say connect to port 5901. And then that did not see it, 5901. I'm going to try to say :1. It is not seeing either. So let me just set the display to go RHEL BNC or something, right? So I'm gonna just stop this one. I'm gonna come here and say ID-UN is there. So system CTL status XRDP. It is not showing up system CTL enable XRDP. Yeah, XRDP is saying it's set enable service. I could just try the system CTL start XRDP. On Ubuntu, you could do this one, but not on Kali Linux. On Kali Linux, you have to just store it from the command line. So etc XRDP is there. As you can see, and there's a couple of them. One is xrdp.ini, one is sys. I'm going to try the default one. So I'm going to say, let's just start that default one, which is xrdp-c for, if you just do --help, it gives you all the configuration files here. And -c meaning config, and then -p for port number. So by default, the port number is for remote desktop 335089. I'm going to try that one right now. LSOM list of open files -i. Port 3389 is not running. So I'm going to start that port on XRDP. And the way you do is we say which XRDP, and then user sben XRDP -c for the file, etc XRDP, xrdp.ini, and then minus port number is 3389. So now it says port number found, initialization overwritten by 3389. So what does that mean? In etc XRDP, now I have these files. Now notice that XRDP is still empty, but later on it will be written by this process called XRDP. Now XRDP that I just configured, it is listening to port 3389. So if I just arrow the lsof command that I did here, now it says that, okay, Microsoft Web Services, Web Tools for XRDP is listening on board. You can also do a netstat -an and grep -i XRDP, or just port -i is not needed here. 3389, you will see that it's there. And then if you want to see on that process ID, which is 2779, you could say lsof -p 2779. You get all the list of files that are opened, and the shared objects and everything, including the pipes, the sockets, and so on, right? So, and there's no socket, but there's pipes that are connected to semaphores and enterprise communication. So now let's go to Microsoft again, and just open Microsoft Terminal Console, and this time and connect to the same port. But this time, because remote desktop is listening to 3389, I should be able to connect, which it does. So now it says this, and now it is failing again for some reason. Maybe the firewall, maybe something that I have to disable, and then I have to enable, and it will work. And so I think that the reason it is failing is this one. So I have to start the graphical interface here. So I'm going to say kix -win dash IP. Let's do the dash enterprise session management -IP -s This was the graphical interface with this, and notice it says that Kix is running on 3D9 process ID, and it is prompting for root password. And command not found. So this one is saying Microsoft Terminal Service Console. It is not finding it because on one of the initialization file here, chain directory etc xrdp, and somehow here on the initialization file, notice this one is say, the log of it, and then this one is still empty. Somehow, this one is written and it has the Microsoft Terminal Service Console there. Let's see if we could just do something about it. System CTL, okay. Service. Actually, XRDP, first we kill it, XRDP dash X dash K. And for kill that, now we kill that process. LSO F minus I 3389 is no longer running. That's good. So we just do XRD, not XRDP. The same command that we did earlier, right here. We're gonna try that one and log in as root. Command not found. Line 490, Microsoft Terminal Console. Okay, so let's do another one. X dash when dash I forgot the syntax, the argument dash when dash len dash dash Linux something, and then dash s. Let me just double check it. So we have it written here. Nobody's gonna memorize everything. Kix dash when dash s. So Kix dash when dash s. This is the part that I don't like, being prompted so many times, and one more time I think it is gonna prompt. Yeah, right here, one more time. And that's the interface that we just got in earlier. So I'm gonna close the browser and then we're here. If we just change the desktop setting to something else, let's see on this one, and then we just leave it like that, and then we go F8 and just take the full screen out, and then go here, say Microsoft Terminal Service Console, and connect to this one. And now we're not running the session, so it should not work. Let me see if I could just say on this one and run XRDP now. So terminal emulator, open a terminal here, and we could say ID dash UN, and then services and service XRDP status. It's not running, not running. Can we start it? You can say start. If it doesn't work, yeah, it doesn't work. So you just say XRDP, and just by default, without any argument, we just say start, right? So this is XRDP, and then wedge XRDP, we just started it, previous minus here, first minus I, XRDP, and then port. Notice that it started the sysmon. Sysmon is the one that actually is running on a different port maybe. And let me just make sure the port is correct. So we say, and let's start minus AN, grep minus I listen, and then grep 33. So there's 3350. Notice this one started on 3350 with this. So if I say lsof minus I, these ports you have to chase it on the configuration file, whatever you set up on the configuration file. If you do the -c, you can assign a different port number. And then here I'm going to try Microsoft Terminal Console, and that one for 350. It is not going through that one. And then XRDP minus K, kill it. And then PS minus EF to rep minus I. XRDP is not running. And then I'm gonna say user has been XRDP minus configuration file etc, and let's see if we can undo XRDP and then XRDP, or we go XRDP dot ini, and then we say port number 3389. Maybe the 3389 is having conflict with the other ones, but let's see if we get it now. lsof minus I colon 3389. We already got the graphical interface. We don't have to just do it remote desktop. So lsof 3389 is not coming yet. Maybe it's not. PS minus EX root minus I XRDP. Now this there, but sysmon again, and that's maybe a different port. Let's start minus AM. Root minus I 33, 33, 50. Yeah. So that port, what sysmon is still there. We can see. Let me just make this one a little bit bigger. Application XRDP. Let's minus sysmon dot I9 and that file, and then grep minus out. That file is empty. Store.I9, and then XRDP is empty. So why did it not give it XRDP minus K? And that process died. And now you're gonna say systemctl start XRDP. No, post this down. Service XRDP start. Starting failed. Okay, so one of these either XRDP is the one that we have to configure, or .ini. Well, but we have the graphical interface. I don't know why I'm still struggling with something that might be not the right port. So let me just try one more time this one and say PS minus EF grep minus I XRDP, and I say, yeah, that process is still running. And XRDP minus K is killed, but the process is still having it. 3350 is still there. Let's start minus AM. We grep 3350. Yeah, this is still there. So the way you do it is you say pkill process kill XRDP dash sys and sysmon sysman. That would kill that process, and then this will not be running. PS minus here, grep minus I XRDP is not there. I'm gonna try it with the 3389 port. So I'm gonna say XRDP minus C etc XRDP dot I9, and then minus port 3389. Now it says that that port is overwritten, so I say PS minus EF to ref minus I XRDP, and not yet it started. Why it's not starting? Okay, maybe that .ini file is we have to do the sysmon for this one. Because this one, you can see it is written a little bit on the logs of it, but not the other one. So PS minus EF, direct minus I, XRDP itself is not getting written. So I'm gonna switch that one with this one instead of this, I'm gonna say sysman.ini. Same port, same configuration, everything, except we're switching from that file to sysman.ini. And that one says log error, reading configuration for log report. So let me just say ls minus l rm minus rf sysman.log. I'm going to remove that file and start fresh. Starting fresh, this one still fails. XRDP, okay. We could not open the configuration file for reading. I'm gonna just patch the configuration file for reading. It says, oh, I mistyped that. Says I typed it as CMON. That's why. So that one worked. PS minus EF correct minus I XRDP, always typo. So, and whether this one is going to come now or not is a different question. And then this file is still empty. But the log is written here. Let me just look at that. Cat minus f ss man.log. Cat minus n sys man.log. And that one is 2 lines. It looks like XRDP is already running. If not, delete this file PID and try again. So it looks like that file is XRDP from previous one is there. So I have to do this process ID that has the content of the previous process. So var run XRDP xrdp.pid and rm var run xrdp.pid. It doesn't look like that file is there anymore. Let's see why it does not create it then. Okay, now it shows that it is overwritten. PS minus EF correct minus I XRDP. Wow, it takes a while to just establish it. So this is a Kali issue that the process is saying that it is there found and then overwritten with this port, but the process does not come up, even though we say the configuration file is this file and the port number is 3389. So apparently, if I don't see it in a couple of seconds, what I'm gonna do is let's see if it is not there. Yeah, it's not there. I'm gonna just say user span XRDP just by itself, and that would start the default one, XRDP, and then even that doesn't work. Okay, so DNF reinstall XRDP. Yes, and then yes. When the package something is mistyped or configured incorrectly, we are going to reinstall it and we say system ctl enable xrdp, and now it's enabled. Then we could have just done system ctl start xrdp, but this doesn't work, and so you have to say service xrdp start, and that doesn't work either, failed. And so then you say user span XRDP, and that will start the process, grep minus I XRDP, and the process is now running with XRDP. That's sysman. And if I just say lsof next tab minus a minus an grep minus I less than, and then grep 33, that number 3350 is the one that's coming, but 3350 on this IP a show Ethernet 0 will not show. Because if I just say Microsoft Terminal Console, and by default, this is connected to port 3389. So if I say colon 3350 on that port, and it's saying an internal output. So I'm just gonna give up on this thing because we already configured it and we're already on the GUI. I'm not going to worry about how do I get it back there. So I'm going to stop this one, say log out. You can see you can shut down the system also by clicking shut down. That would also work. And then here on this system, host name cat minus -NETC OS dash release. This one is Kali Linux, so I'm going to exit out of this. Maybe because these other windows were left alone. So I'm going to just get to Ubuntu. Ubuntu 24, let's get WSL-S Ubuntu 24. So now I made it basically the default one. So you can see Ubuntu is not running, Kali is running. So I'm going to terminate Kali Linux. Sometimes if you are using the same default port on a subnet that you're using for both of them, you have to be careful. One could only work and the other one will not be on the same port and same IP address, because all of these subsystems use the same port and same IP address. So that might be a reason. And WSL dash S dash P Kali dash Linux terminated, and WSL and dash shutdown dash C the cell name. That's now if I say running, it's nothing running. So I'm going to say WSL dash L, and then the default one is Ubuntu, so WSL. I'm going to get to the Ubuntu. And now clear a screen, a host name, cat minus n etc OS dash release. It should be Ubuntu 24.04. So I'm going to become sudo su dash. On this system, I had already done the app update stuff. So say app update, it will just say your system is up to date. And that's how you will do it initially. Once your system is up to date, right here it says 45 packages, still kind of since last time I did, but I could also say app upgrade to upgrade it to the latest, and say yeah, go ahead, update it on the system. Because it's a development and testing, I want to be to the latest patches. And there, that's one way you could do it. And on this one, you have to also do app install XRDP. If it's not already installed, you will do this one. But since I already requirement is already met, so I'm already good with it. The other thing is you want to do an app install task select. Task select so you could see which version of the GNOME desktop that you want to use. So I use task cell here for selecting, and then I go enable Debian desktop and GNOME. So since I already did that one, if I just tab it here and say okay, it's going to just not do anything. But if you choose another one, then you just go install that one. So that's good, all of it. And then now say systemctl enable XRDP. So now I enable the system this. Then also I could say systemctl start XRDP. Notice that this one systemctl start XRDP typo. So now systemctl systemctl status XRDP. Now you can see it is up and running. But notice this one is also WSL, and it is Ubuntu 24. It's a little bit more matching all the dependencies. So systemctl works. Systemctl status works on all commands here. All right. On the other system, it was not, it was saying that services you have to run. And then let's see, PS minus EFA, grep minus I, system D, and then system D is running on the system. That's why journal D is and everything is supported. That's nice. And that's, even though it's WSL, we're getting system D, which is not system 5. So PS minus P process 1, you can see it is not init, it is system D for process 1. That's why system D commands work. So I could say system CTL status of XRDP, it says running. If I just want to SSH to this machine, I say IPA and show Ethernet 0, I could say system CPL status SSHD, and then SSHD is not there, I could say app install SSHD. SSHD is not there, but the SSH is there. So I'm going to run open SSH for SSH and install that one. And now notice that now I could say system status SSHD, it is disabled by default. So I'm going to say system CTL enable SSH. And now it is there, system CTL start SSH. Now SSH is running. System CTL status SSH, it is running. System CTL cap SSH, it shows you, system CTL cap SSH shows you the content of startup script for this one. System CTL show SSH shows all the parameters and information, right? So there's a lot more you could do with system D that you could not do it with the service. And this is latest version of Ubuntu release. So we just upgraded it 24.04 long-term support LTS. And we just did upgrade. So at this time, everything on this system is good. And then system CTL status XRDP is there. XRDP, you can see it is listening. And then what port number by default, this is the port number, right? And the IP, process ID number. So if I say LSOF minus P 481, you can see that process is listening to this, and then at the same time, if I look at the listen port, say PS minus EFA grep minus I XRDP, that process is now their system CTL status XRDP. It is running, so I could say I want to see the port number, so I could say netstat minus AN grep minus I listen, and then grep 33 something. So that tool is not installed. That means I cannot do netstat, which LSOF is there. I could do LSOF, but let me just install the tools. Apt install net-tools. This will install the command that was failing, which was netstat. This command now not fails. And then you can see port 3389 is the LSOF minus I, and then colon 3389. That is just showing the XRDP is listening on that port. And then the process ID was also 481. I could say LSOF minus P 481, and you see all the details of it with that one, right? And then PLDD was what 481 was also showing all the shared object files that are here, and then it's here the details of it, and dynamic link libraries of it, right? So at this time, it is running, it is good. Clear screen IP here, clear screen IP A show Ethernet 0, and you can see it is this IP address, right? So if I just look for grep minus I init, And then the first one, I want to get second argument of it. So you say head -1, and then that will give you the first line, and then awk print $2. That would give you the IP address, right? And if you don't want the slash, you could say cut -d delimiter slash, and then just say field 1. So now you get only the IP address. You don't get the side notation. So, and that is the IP address, but let's see if we can get it to Ubuntu this way. Microsoft Terminal Service Console, that's the IP address, and port 3389 is default, and that's good news. Now it's prompting me. The user, I have to type in grep -i Wahid, if you see password. Yeah, it is Wahid. So I'm going to type in on this one username Wahid, and then password. And there you go. Everything looks good on it. It just opens it, and then that's Linux Ubuntu with the graphical interface, Debian distribution, and then you can see here the list of program files. So if I make this screen bigger, notice the other one, when we just want to do F8, this one F8 doesn't do anything. It just gave you this screen. So here, if you want to just minimize it or maximize it, you arrange it with this option. And if you want to just maximize it again, it goes there. And here, this is the kind of like filter to just see the entire thing, like file manager and other ones. This is a list of all the software that are installed here. You can see it's if you want to open a terminal, you click on this one, and then that would open a terminal. Yes, it's gonna come. If it doesn't come, yeah, be patient, it will come. But notice that this one here, there's a number of things like file manager. If you just click on it, the file manager will open there. What is taking so long is maybe just not sure why. It is maybe it is on another of these displays because it should come up. And then this is yeah, it just eventually came out. See that? It was taking a while to just display. This is the file manager. And so if I just go to the directory documents, if I have anything on this directory, I can open them. And then if I'm done with that one, I could come back here and click on this, and then here this all these options that are giving you. So if you want to do software update, you could go here, and then some of these icons doesn't say much, but once you point to it, it will tell you what it is there. And then this is help, and this is software update. This is file manager. This is LibreOffice Writer, and this is evaluation analysis or something. And then show apps, so it will show all the apps. If you want to open Firefox, you click on this one. If you want to open a clock, it open a clock for you, and then so on. And then alarm, and then word calendar, and timers, everything, right? So this tool is really cool. And then right clicking here, you can also change the display setting or change the background. So if you don't like that background, you can just right click and just once the display comes in, it's a little bit slow. So you could set it up to whichever one that you want. Here, notice that if you want this one, it will change it to that. And then each one of them that you do, this looks cool. And then this one looks cool. A lot of them are very nice Debian stuff, and then you can see Debian and so on. So if you just right click here and then go to change background or display setting, the display setting, you can also change it the resolution and different fonts and everything. That way you can just make sure your screen fits the way you want it on your screen. I'm connected to a Sony TV, and then I see it okay, but I'm far away from it. So another thing is that also on the software things, you can just open a terminal, and this terminal, when opens, look at the display, just showed up so late here. You can change it, the resolution, to have it differently. Here you have this terminal, and then if you do Shift Control Plus, you can size it to make it bigger, or just Control minus to just decrease it, or Shift Control Plus will increase it. And then obviously you can change the different colors for the setting. I showed you a lot of stuff with Xterm and everything. And here you can type in the name, ID-UN, and select calendar. So calendar is not there, it's saying that you need to install ncal. So the way you do that, when you say sudo sudo-, I want to become root first, otherwise I don't want to type in sudo every time on every command. So apt install the ncal. New calendar will be installed, and then that gives me the calendar. So cal would work, which cal is now symbolic to the user ben cal. So user ben cal is symbolic link to user ben ncal. And ncal is the actual file, user ben ncal is the command that you would type in. Their file user ben ncal is not symbolic link, it's the actual file. And you can see ncal dash before 2 months before from today, and date calendar is November. So calendar minus 8 and 2. 2 months after November is December and January. So January 1st is falling on 2025 is on Thursday, on Wednesday next year. So you could also say calendar 19070, the epoch calendar of 970. It doesn't matter what all those ones are there. And there's a lot of things you could do here. Say which Xterm, if we want to do Xterm. Xterm is not installed, so say apt install Xterm. So notice when you do Xterm, which Xcalc is there, which Xclock should be there too, and which Xeyes, and those are there. So why Xterm is not there, which Xterm is not there, but I'm going to install that one. So Xcalc will give you calculator, and then the display has to be set. You have to be on Xclock. So if you say Xclock now, Xclock, now it opens the Xclock, and then if I close it and I say Xclock in digital format, then you get the digital format, and then say Xeyes, and then you get the Xeyes, and then X calculator for calculator, and then scientific calculator you can also get it. But notice that these commands that comes in, where's my X term? So echo $ display, because I'm logged on as Wahid ID, who am I? My display is set. So I could say echo $ display is 10:0. That means as soon as I open a terminal, I can do graphic stuff here. But let's just see which Xterm. Xterm does not work, as it says it's not installed. In order to install it, I have to do apt install Xterm. But since I don't have the permission, that means I have to do sudo in front of it. And now Xterm will be installed. Now which Xterm is installed? Xterm by default will open Xterm to the format you want, but it's too small. Xterm minus, let's say, and the color is okay. I'm going to say font size is equal 20. To make it a font size of 20, font face FA is New York. You could do something like this now. Notice that X term is okay right here. df-h, clear screen, man pwd, all of that one works, right? But if I just say, just do minus foreground white minus background dark green. Dark green. So now I get that one. If I say that dark green, I didn't like it, it was too light. I'm gonna say pound and then put this numbers. So FF for 00 for red, and then green is, I'm gonna say 25, very dark green, and then blue is also 00. So now it's going to be nicer looking here. And then if I just say, let's just make this one dark red, darkish red, and then this one is 0, and then say ampersand, so it will open it in the background. And while this one is up here, I could open another one in blue and say, just say 000025 for blue, and then that would be blue. And similarly, I want to say do another one in green at let's say 35 or 30 for green there, and then I want one combination of all of them 25. That would be something like similar to pie charm in other colors. I don't know what is the name of that color, so it is this, right? So if you know the name, you can make a comment, say this is the name. Okay, so at this time, and now I have these colors. So PS minus EF, grep minus I extern. So now notice how many of them are I have it. I could do a pkill my extern, and then now pkill extern, and then now I killed all of them. I didn't kill it. Actually, I did not kill it, because when you do a pkill, if you don't say minus the terminal level is 9, it does a exit 15 signal term. That means gracefully. Whenever that program ends, that's okay. But if you want to force it, you could just say this command, which is a list of, they are already done. So I didn't have to do it. But if I want to just say something like here, I want to just open one of them, like right here, and then I just want to kill that one. Let's say PS minus EF, grep minus I extern. You could also do it with one command, say kill -9, and then the process ID 5362. That would just kill that one now, and there's no more external with that process, it got killed. But if you have 10 of them, then you put it in a while read and do them all. Okay, so that is, I have shown you in other videos. I could do one more just to show you. Let's just do this one time, and then I'm going to do this one with one more here and say 55, so that color. And now I'm going to say this one extern. Now there's 2 of them, and then I say grep minus v grep. So do not show my own grep command. That is only those 2, the white in the background of that. So I say give me the awk PID of those 2, print $2, which is the process ID of them, those 2, and then now I say xarg and then kill -9, or while read bar do kill -9, and then command not find xargs, the S, and apt install xarg is not there. I could do install it, and then, or I could just say let's do apt and sudo apt install xargs, and then since xarg unable to locate xargs, which xargs, yeah, it is xarg is there. So let me see what I did. xarg rarg, that's why xargs. That's gonna kill it. Now there's no process there. So if I close this one, there's no process at all with that one. And then here you are done with this one. You could just open a terminal and then shut it down, or just come here and say log out and then power off and there. So right here is their option. You could also do shutdown -H now, or power off here, and then log out and then power off also. So whichever one you want, log you out and then power off as well. And then if you want to just re-log in, you can log in again. And then here you have the option, we power out, log out, power off, and I'm gonna say power off. Power off, and then the system will be powered off. And then you can close this one also. We're done. And then here also, if you want to just do anything from the system here, you could also do a shutdown -H now. Since the power is there, you could do terminate it right there, or you could do systemctl power off. So we're done with this one, WSL. It's all good. I'm gonna post this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Please make some nice comments so I get encouraged to help you further. And if you are coming to our channel, this is the English version, this is the 4C version, and this is my book that's online. There's a lot of stuff I had shown you in the past. I hope you enjoy it and learn either the 4C version or the English version. A lot of videos for you, and help your friend and family ones, and then share it with your family and loved ones so you all could benefit from it. God bless you all. Take care. Have fun. Bye-bye. I didn't know it was 1:43 a.m. in the morning. Tomorrow I'm off. That's okay. Take care. Bye-bye.